Hey, Andrew.
That's it? Got it.
All right, we'll go ahead and get the meeting started. Looks like we have a quorum. Mr. Cott, would you care to lead us in the pledge? Mr. Brisker, would you lead us in the prayer, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bow your heads, please. Gracious and Heavenly Father, we want to give you all the grace and glory today. We want to thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for all the blessings in our lives. We ask that you be here in this meeting to help us guide through this for the betterment of our community. All this we ask in thy gracious name. Amen.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, if you would, take a look at the minutes of the last meeting, give you a minute or two to look those over. And then I'll ask for a motion. All right, if everyone's had a chance to review the minutes of June's meeting, could I have a motion to approve and a second, please?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Motion made by Danielle, is there a second?
I second.
Second by Emily, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Elliott.
We'll have possibly some variances coming up next month. And they've been applied for, I think on minimum acreage and setbacks. And also, I believe Tony's here this evening to talk about, I think, one of the variances. So that's about all I have for now.
I don't want to cause Tony, Mr. Boyles, to make a dry run, but Lisa, help me out here. Should this be, should he be addressing the BZA on this, or?
If that's your topic, if that's his topic of discussion tonight,
It is.
yes, yes, that would be proper for him
So-
to.
Tony, you're in the process of, getting all the, jumping through the 2 or 3 hoops to get this variance, application and get it in the paper and everything, so
I am.
you will be ready to, well, the BZA will be ready to hear that issue, at the August meeting, but as of right now, you don't really have, it's not been in the paper yet, or?
It hasn't. I've actually got a couple of questions as to how that process works and maybe even some suggestions for that.
You know, we did give Doug Turner the opportunity to address this group,
Yeah,
so.
that's fine.
to be-
I've got no problem with it. I just want to make sure we staying within our legal bounds.
If he just has questions about the process, and
I
those could be
have-
addressed.
Yes, I do have questions about the process, and I do have questions about maybe some of why we do it the way we do it, that I don't understand.
That's fair. Go ahead. You're welcome to come forward or
Okay.
stay where you're at.
And I can just stay right where I'm at, if that's all right.
That's fine.
So, first off, I want to thank each and every one of you. I know that you take your time to try to do things, to make decisions to better our community. Thank you for that. As Travis said before, I am applying for a variance. One of the questions that I have, and there again, if I'm off topic, please stop me or just tell me to sit down and hush. I'm used to it. My wife tells me that all the time. But according to building codes, and Travis, please correct me if I'm wrong, we have a minimum setback. I think that's 60 feet from the center of the road within the county. We have a minimum from each side of whatever structure you're building, and then a minimum for the back of the structure to the back of the property. However, we also have, I think maybe a zoning ordinance, I'm not sure what the correct terminology is, that we have to have 3/4 of an acre. And my question is why isn't it allowed, if I can build a structure within the parameters of what the building code requires, then why am I required to have 3/4 of an acre? And the reason I'm asking this, I live out in Canton, and as I was on my way here, I counted, there's 14 pieces of property in Canton that don't have 3/4 of an acre on them right now. And at some point, those structures are gonna dilapidate to the point where someone like me is going to buy that and then actually try to build something on that that's gonna, make our community a little bit nicer. So really, that's my question. And I do know that some of that goes back to some septic issues. However, with some of our new technology with septics, I just don't understand why I have to have 3/4 of an acre.
Yeah. That's a fair question, and it is one question that we've been struggling with. We run into this a lot, and the simplest answer is, as well as I do, 200 years ago, when Canton or all these other little towns were platted,
Sure.
we had outhouses.
Right,
So septic lateral fields were not an issue.
right.
So, we have, thousands and thousands of lots. You can just go right down the list. Canton, South Boston, Hardensburg, Fredericksburg, Little York,
Yep.
every little town, Saltillo in the county. Most of the lot sizes are less than 3/4 of an acre. So, this is, I'm kind of glad you brought this up because it has been a hot topic.
Sure.
And I think we're gonna get it resolved here definitely before the end of the year, because I don't wanna use the word grandfathered, but, for instance, like we run into this same situation in Fredericksburg not too long ago.
Right.
A couple came along who had an existing septic system on a lot that was smaller than 3/4. And in regards to not only septics, but setbacks,
Right.
in regards to setbacks, the gentleman who's advising us, Connor Barnett out of Jackson County, said it's best to use a average setback for the existing homes. In other words, you go downtown Fredericksburg and most of the homes along these little towns are 20, 30, 40 feet from the road.
Right.
So, that's one thing we're looking at. So we're gonna have something very concrete and more decisive when we finish this project. So it hopefully will make this process much easier, and, I'm not gonna say right now, because we don't know for sure whether we're gonna stick with this 60-foot setback, but the septic issue is probably just as important, because you're talking about, you know, sanitary sewage, whether you have it or you don't, and we
Right.
certainly don't want raw sewage coming to the top of the ground or an inadequate
Absolutely, yeah.
septic system. So, your concerns are noted, and it's something we've been talking about for quite some time, so, and I certainly appreciate your coming to us. And if you have any suggestions, I know Mr. Lyles here has spent his whole life putting in septic system. He's very familiar with it, and that's very helpful, so we're gonna expect some input from him and people from the community that will give us some guidance, because, you know, we don't wanna make rules that are unenforceable, and we wanna make sure that we don't do anything to jeopardize anyone's health and safety.
Sure, and I understand that, and I actually do have some suggestions, and I don't know if this is the time to bring them up or not, but it seems logical to establish a code, whether it be the minimum setback of 60 feet, 70 feet, whatever it would be. It seems logical to establish a building code for each lot, and then allow, I know Chris Bowling does a great job up there at the septic office. I mean, he knows what you require. Most of what we're putting in now are some form of sand system. Am I right, David, with most of that, they're Presby systems or?
About 80% now are sand line systems.
Yeah,
Which these
yeah.
systems only take, at most, a 3-bedroom average system with your dispersal area is only gonna take up 1,500 square feet. Nowhere near a quarter of an acre. I mean, that's 11,000 square feet's a quarter of an acre, and you're only taking up 1,500. Plus, the other problem now is we have, you know, to eliminate all those problems in all those cities, they now have direct discharge technology, where you don't need a septic field. You can remedy all these situations, you know, by putting in direct discharge technology. We should be following the code, which is Rule 410, and not the 1983 ordinance. And in the new code, there is no minimum lot size. If you can adhere to his setbacks, you can put a system on any size lot.
And that's what my suggestion would be, is if I could build as a contractor within the parameters of whatever Travis's building code is, then I think you're gonna take a huge load off of people that's having to go through and look at all these variances and do all this extra work. You know, stay within this code, stay within the septic, you know, qualifications. That might mean you're putting in a $20,000 to $25,000 septic field rather than a $6,000 or $8,000 septic field. But as a contractor, I would much rather do that. I want to do the right thing. The problem is sometimes I don't know what the right thing is, because I see Travis's building code, but then we have, you know, something else that I have to consider. If I had known this, I mean, I bought a lot that was in disarray, and it was pretty rough, and I spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money to clean it up.
It was the worst of the worst.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, it'd still be there with the rats and the dead pigs and whatever else in it if I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to use it, and I have to go through the hoops to get there. And I'm assuming that I'll probably get a variance, and I'm okay with that, but I think maybe if we created a standard by which everybody had to adhere to, if we could do that, rather than having 2 or 3 different things to have to try to figure out. I think if we created one standard, you know, with a building code, I think maybe that would work better for the county, work better for you all, work better for the people that were looking at these things for variance. So that's my suggestion, so.
Most definitely.
All right. Thank you, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I guess we'll probably see you next month.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate your input. Okay. As one of my favorite councilmen used to say, Jonathan Spaulding, that's all good information. And it is. And this is information we need to hear, and I hope some of you remember that, because we'll be dealing with that, hopefully finalizing and making things much more simple, streamlined, and I like that word, logical. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Boyles or comments on the subject? If not, we'll move along to county parcel specifications. And at this time, I'll turn it over to our county surveyor, Emily Rodman.
Okay, so I wasn't here last month, so I don't know the process that you guys went through with these, but I did get the copied maps that Daniel did, and I went ahead and I colored in the subdivisions that were on here, on this township, for Vernon and Brown. I also labeled, the parcels that are now industrial, like the Premier Ag Place over there in Campbellsburg area. Vernon, I did the same thing around Smedley, and then over at Neff's for the older Premier Place. Then I went ahead and tried to work ahead. I've colored in almost the whole county for all subdivisions that exist in all of our townships.
That's last.
So, my thing is I will follow whatever process you all did last time. I heard it went very smoothly and it was awesome. So I don't know how we went about it, but I have all the stuff here to color code and go, and I'll let you know that their subdivision in sections or not in sections, and send you guys these maps after the meeting. So if you guys wanted to let me know how we did it last month, then you can keep the same way about it this month.
We just went right across the top, left to right,
Do you guys have these though in front of you?
each section, yeah. Yeah, Danielle printed them all.
It doesn't have the subdivisions.
I was gonna say, mine doesn't have subdivision.
Oh,
I just-
No, I don't think we have those. No, they were sent electronically, with the meeting minutes, but not,
So.
not copied tonight. I can run over and copy them real quick if I need to.
The two that were sent are the
Yep.
ones that we did.
That's the ones
last.
I'm done, that I finished. And then I went ahead, I did Pierce, Howard, Madison, Jackson, Polk, Franklin, Gibson, and Posey. I colored in all the subdivisions, so if you guys want, I can go make some copies and pass them around, if that would be a benefit to everyone.
I copied everything that I got emailed to me, that
Okay,
Okay, so we don't need these packets then?
I don't know, I mean,
Well, yeah,
you probably need these. Alright, it'll take me a couple minutes, just. Look at that. Go into the
I
next one.
couldn't open that on my phone before. I was wondering what those were, but I couldn't open
okay.
it, so.
She has these.
What, but is it this?
She's, like, I took the pages, like, in the plat book, it might be
Yeah.
3 pages for one township, and I cut them out and put them all into one page, so you had it all together, but.
She made a master list, plucking out, identifying all the subdivisions
They passed.
in the remainder of the townships, with the exception of just 2 or 3, so that's what she's making copies of. I think you'll be surprised to find there are more platted subdivisions in this county than what you realize. A lot of them, some of them don't even have homes on them.
I don't think anybody else needs those. I think you already got everybody on that. Yes, he put them here, and I think they need to go this way. You handed it back to me, I think it needs to go that way, doesn't it? Doesn't Danielle still
Looks
need
by
to-
the signature, it does. What's the matter with you?
subdivisions that the county doesn't really maintain, are they gonna be considered subdivisions within our plats also? Are they gonna
What do you mean they don't maintain?
Well, they don't maintain their roadways.
It's because they're not county roads.
So are those
They're still
subdivisions still,
they're
they're still considered subdivisions for our purposes?
Yeah.
Okay. Was Colin Burnett, was he consulted about the single-family residential designation in the general business? That was on, I mean, has that been resolved? It was on the minutes, so I didn't know if anybody had talked to him. And I guess my question is, should that really be an issue? I guess it depends on whether they're
I'm
talking
not,
about.
I'm not sure if Emily has spoken, I've not spoke to him about it, but I think we're gonna meet him next week. Couple of us to,
July the 11th.
yeah.
Okay.
We have a lot of single-family dwellings that are not permitted as a general business zone, even though there is a business there. We have probably hundreds of them. And whether we should follow, and the reason for that is because that's how the assessor's office designates them. Now, whether that's right or wrong, or whether we should do something contrary to how it's assessed is a question. I mean, you can see lots of businesses, small businesses all over the county that they're being assessed and taxed as a residence. So my question would be, what are they? They're both, I suppose.
I've got both.
Yeah. But if it's a business, then that's a business. So we, will certainly check with him on that when we meet with him.
Well, like concerning your property, the entire block other than two houses is business, right? So I'm assuming, I mean, that's within the city of Salem. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes, but it's clearly a business and then a residential on top. I mean, my bedroom's
Yeah, and then
not
next door you have.
my business.
Yeah, but I meant the whole block, that whole block may be designated as business, I'm not sure.
I have no idea about the block.
Because the city does that at times, I mean, you know, you can look out Hackberry Street like you're going out to Walmart and there's part of it that's all highway business, but there's houses in there within that district that they have.
But there's different zoning
Well,
in
just
different areas.
the city allows single-family residences inside the general
Right.
business district.
Right. It's like the lower, isn't it, like, if it's R1, then
I think so, yeah.
then you can, everything lower than that zoning, what they consider lower designation, can be within that zoning. Correct?
That, yeah, sounds right.
I think that's the way the city has it.
Yeah, I don't know, because I know you can't, like, if you go to Joseph Street, it's designated industrial, you can't have, where it's designated industrial, you can't have a single-family dwelling on there, inside that. So I don't know if that's totally accurate or not.
Well, that may not be true. Maybe industrials would be exempt from that. But you've clearly got business designations with single-family residences in them. I mean, that's all through the cities like that.
Correct.
I mean, there's just areas that are like that, so.
I'm gonna just pass these out. I'm gonna just take one and pass them around, how's that? There's a bunch.
Sounds great.
These are blue papers. Of these big ones, I'll put my own down.
Oh.
These are lovely. You guys can have the big ones.
Emily, thank you for your trouble.
You know, no trouble at all. I like walking this thing. I'm afraid of that thing.
It's,
She said, did you take the elevator?
Yeah, I don't take it by myself.
I think it's still got a hiccup or two, but
I didn't get in it before.
Gotta get some peace of mind. Maybe everybody leave
That's
me,
pretty drastic.
maybe everybody leave me alone if I'm stuck in the elevator. Can't find me, leave me alone.
that's pretty extreme.
If it was temporary, it'd be all right.
You don't know.
I'd say we're finished.
We've got maps everywhere. Last one.
Oh, these are much bigger because, just so you all know, I played arts and crafts and taped some pages together, so. Just ignore the massive size of these.
Thank you.
I would have thought this was one of the copies. It's all of them.
Yes,
Where are the definitions for each of these classifications?
Have we actually finalized the definitions of them?
Not 100%. We got it down
I
to,
don't think so.
was it 6 or 5?
I don't know.
6.
I made my own list because I wasn't here, so I just winged it. Okay. I would like to start with the single, 8.5 by 11 size pages first,
You would?
if that's okay with you all.
Yeah. What township would that be?
Jackson's on the top of mine, but however you all want to do it.
Okay. Jackson.
All right, what you're looking at, the red, everything that's in red is a subdivision that has been recorded and approved by a planning commission.
Can I make a quick suggestion that maybe we start with, we've got through Brown and Vernon,
Sure,
so if we go to Madison, maybe we're kind of.
sure.
We're not jumping around.
Madison works just fine for me.
So we're
It's a
going-
little one too.
You all
Gotcha.
show me how you did this last time and we'll keep going.
Did you just take a section?
I
Yeah, we-
wasn't here.
We just took a section and just called out the numbers and
So like 33?
nothing.
Right, but
Okay.
where we, what of our six designations, I forget where we were pulling this from last time. Oh, yeah, we pulled it out of these.
Those were just what were on these maps that I got last time. Last time I had R2, which is incorporated ag, forestry, industrial, and general business. And then I made subdivisions by myself.
See, I thought we had talked about simplifying it a little bit.
We did.
I had one that was residential non-incorporated.
Yeah, we need copies of this.
I feel like we had to have R1, because we have R2, but that's just,
Yeah,
I wasn't here.
Did they decide to?
Yes. Copy of this. But that's what we.
Here, we can go around and get
I was taking the steps again, because that elevator will get you stuck just like this.
you're just convinced that it's gonna stop, huh?
I watched it stop with people inside.
Oh, yeah.
I got stuck in one at the hospital one time.
I did once when I was little.
They were actually.
R1 was subdivision.
Okay.
I think there was an R1.
Well, it is
Oh,
written.
and platted towns were incorporated and unincorporated. So R2 was.
The last time I remember us talking about that was the time Connor came
A long time ago, right? I say a long time ago.
Like
not
2 or
long.
3 months ago, I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
They're making copies of this, I think.
Okay.
But if you
over. But I
want
missed last
look at this on
meeting,
your
so
mobile.
if it was
Okay.
defined at the
this is
last
just what I
meeting,
did today
then
for
I
myself.
No, we were using the minutes from
May,
the May 7th meeting, yeah.
that's what he's making a copy of now.
Did you
So
know
we'll all
that?
have the designations in front of us.
This said that we reviewed and approved meeting minutes for April,
Yeah, that should be, that agenda should say it's
May.
June. Well, are you looking at today's agenda?
Oh, yeah, that's July.
Yeah, so that should be June
Yeah.
on the agenda. And I'm assuming that you approved May last month?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess assume they did. I wasn't here. That's my assumption. It was on the minutes, I think, from Danielle.
Yeah. I think it was. Yeah, and the minutes say April too.
The,
Yeah, so that should say May.
let's see, what did I'm getting too much paper here. Too much paper. Yeah. That should have been May. That should have been May on the minutes.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Are those your new glasses or your old glasses? Your new glasses.
New, or,
And, you were, like, the eye at the side's still broken.
oh no, I get rid of
I
those.
was like, you have the silver in there, so. Your daughter being an eye doctor, huh?
You don't have to, you don't have to bring that up.
He didn't want to hear that, did he?
There's yours.
He needs enemies when he can have friends like me.
We probably ought to go back and make any motion to approve the minutes with that one correction, just to be official.
Okay. I'll second.
All right.
Okay, Todd, we need to,
Pausing, this is mapping for a second.
Excuse me?
Pausing the maps on a timeout.
just a minor thing. I'll
Yep.
make a motion to correct our minutes that we approved from last meeting. It said we approved the meeting minutes for April, which we didn't. We approved the meeting minutes for May.
Okay,
And I
Alright.
second that motion.
So that was it.
all right. Duly noted.
All
Alright.
in favor, say aye.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Alright, back on track.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, section 33. I assume that that's just ag.
You're the,
So ag includes any rural residential that's not in a subdivision, okay,
that's right.
okay. That's what I remember us talking about, okay.
Okay, so 34 is the town of Livonia, so that would automatically be R2. So then we're on to 35. Is that also ag? Is how you guys did it last time?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I know, just from experience, that I'm pretty sure in 36 is that little rodeo place. Would that also be considered ag? That little arena thing?
SIJRA.
Hmm?
That's that SIJRA rodeo.
Yes.
It's actually a quarry that they rent for $1 a year, so it's actually.
It's Owsley's.
It's-
Yeah, it belongs
Owsley's.
now.
It
So
actually
actually-
belongs to Hanson's now. They bought Owsley's out, so.
Oh. So I don't know if that changes things, but
I can imagine that there would be some ordinances that they would, like, let noise late at night, they would want to be in a
assume it's like an
commercial zone.
event center.
Yeah.
Hanson's bought it out and shut it down, 'cause it was way better rock than we had here at Salem, so they
Yeah.
didn't want them to compete.
So I don't know what that would be zoned as, but.
Okay.
And then going back to the other side, section 4. If you all don't see anything, move along.
No,
Okay, ag. Most of section 3 is Livonia, but the southwest quarter of that is not, where you can see where it says David Elgin and R.N. Matthews, Dean Anita Stumler. That's all part of the county right there.
yeah.
So
I think,
I think that's ag too,
I agree.
honestly. I don't drive over there much, but. Number 2
Ag.
Yeah, there is the, fire department, right there at the intersection of 56 and Hardinsburg Livonia Road.
Yeah.
Can it still be ag, and then would the fire department need to be something different?
Who owns it?
I'm a little confused by that plat there, because there's also, construction, there's a excavation business beside that too. I
Yep.
don't see that there either. Maybe
There's
that's-
two, so the fire department used to be a business, now it's I think Livonia Fire Department owns it. I mean, I'm open
You're
it.
talking about with the old,
Dutch
Farmer
farm.
store was.
Yeah, the
Yeah, and then
Dutch
there's a
barn or
construction
whatever.
business next to that. Out there.
Yeah, I don't see either of those on this plat.
I think it's just really small up there, like in that itty bitty.
Yeah, if it's under a certain lot size, it's
Yeah.
probably not named on there.
Yeah, I can make notes of it though over here and I'll pull them later if we wanna
Okay,
change
yeah,
them.
make a note of that, cause there is Byler's Construction Company, and then there's, the fire department, I don't know where it would.
Alright, I have notes on mine.
Okay,
Okay, section 1, there is a subdivision in there. But other than that, I don't think there's much else going on out there. So would that be ag as well?
Yep.
Okay, then back to the other side, section 9. I wanna say all of Wilson Road, I think it's just ag. I don't think there's much out there. Section 10. Would probably be the same. I know there's, the Mennonite school and some other things out there on that road.
yeah, that's one, we might ask Connor
Yeah,
about that, schools, for
I think
instance,
it's
where
right
they
here.
would fit in, but.
They'd be in section 11, wouldn't they? The Mennonite school?
Yeah,
Yeah. Other than that, I think that 11's also ag. And then section 12. Would be ag. Okay, over to 16.
Ag.
yep, it's ag,
15,
it's ag,
14.
it's ag.
Does
Is
the
that the-
Livonia Conservation Club
Yeah,
come out,
recreation.
or would it be ag?
Yeah, I can't see, I would think it'd be ag.
Okay.
And some of these are permitted uses within,
Right,
so like
yeah,
like a school is considered, we were going by
Would be
what
fine.
we had before was a special exception, so
that works.
is
Was the school, permitted in the KK model in whatever she
It would-
described as rural residential or?
So as long as it would receive it has an S late related to it, which means that it would be allowed if it was approved as a special exception by the BZA.
So it would be
So-
allowed.
So it's
Deal.
already there,
Yeah, right.
so.
Keeps it in.
Uh, 13,
Yep. I think it's also ag. 21.
ag.
Ag. 22. I believe is ag. Twenty-three.
Ag.
24 is ag. 28 ag,
What's on 24?
subdivision.
Okay.
I know somewhere on it, there's a mulch place, but I think that's in section 27. That would be a business, but I don't know if it's actually a business or they just have mulch at their house. So ag,
Are we at 26 now?
yep.
That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
25.
Ag.
33, there's a subdivision in the northwest corner.
Yep.
We talked about this a little bit with like, when we were, Smedley, we talked about that last month, but the Highway 150 road frontage, is that, play any part? I don't think there's any, that particular piece, I don't think there's any businesses there currently.
No, I think there used to be a vet's office over there and that was about it.
So just ag.
Okay. Section 34, there's a large subdivision.
What road is that?
Pardon, Locust Grove.
Locust Grove, okay. The rest of it's ag.
Yep.
Yeah.
Madison's done.
Same for 35.
35 ag.
I thought we were saying this.
And then 36 ag besides the subdivision.
Yep.
Okay. Madison is completed. So what's the next one, Andrew?
How about Posey?
Alright, that's a big one. Just so y'all know. It'll be one of your big papers. It's really not big, it's just this way.
This stuff messes with your eyes after a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just wanting to
I
learn.
think I should have worn my glasses and not my contacts.
Yeah.
That was just me.
No, it's,
Alright, so we're gonna start with number 4, and that's a longer section, but it's still,
let's see, where are we at? We're in Valley Pike, okay. Okay, I see where we're at. That's all ag.
Yep.
ag.
Then you-
Section 3 is Hardensburg. So, I left it as R2, incorporated or unincorporated.
Yeah.
Okay. Most of section 2 is also Hardensburg, but there's a part around the outside that isn't. Pretty sure it's ag. There's also a little bit of a subdivision in there. So then section 1 has a large subdivision.
Yep.
But I think that side is ag. I think section 1 is ag.
Yeah.
The other part lies on the other side of the highway. Section 6. There's a little subdivision, little piece of one in the southeast corner.
Yeah, that's all ag.
Alright. Section 5. Oh, there's a DNR spot that I did not color in. Sorry, guys. Must have missed that with my arts and crafts earlier.
In 5 or 6?
In 5,
Oh, I see it.
I colored it in over here. And again, there's a little bit of some subdivisions hanging out in there. But I think that is also ag.
So what are the highlighted, that are kinda highlighted, not red?
The yellow,
No, they're like gray.
Like this, right here, and this right here.
I think
this
that's
right
just
here.
different parcels.
Those are parcels, I think they're under 2 I think 2 acres.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay,
has to
so-
do with the size.
okay.
Yeah, that was just on the maps. So section 5, do we think that's all ag?
Yeah.
Section 4, there's some subdivisions.
Oh, okay, okay. So are we in 3 now?
We're on 4, but ag,
Yeah, 4
Is everyone in agreement?
all ag, the rest of it.
Yeah.
About the subdivisions.
3, you have a subdivision in the south, or in the northwest corner.
And the rest is ag.
Okay. 2, you have a subdivision kinda in the middle. Ag,
What
What
is
about that
the,
nature conservancy?
yeah, what, that's what I was about to ask, what is the,
I would say that should just also say in the state forestry. Cause I think that some of them are owned by the Indiana's Department of Natural Resources, and some of them are like a conservancy district, but it's also like state of Indiana.
What road does that come off of?
Mount Carmel.
Is that Mount Carmel? No, it's Horner's Chapel.
Mount Carmel and Horner's Chapel is in the middle.
Okay.
It's landlocked.
No, it's not, because see, up there in the corner,
Oh,
there's
okay.
another parcel that is the
Oh.
nature
I see it.
On the, I think another map I colored it yellow, just cause I thought they were the, I'm pretty sure they're the same thing. You have to follow certain
would-
things.
It would probably be considered forestry
Yeah.
recreation, because they're we'll ask Connor about that.
So why do we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that goes from right to left, and then 1, 2, 3, 4?
It changes,
The way the sections came out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, don't
Okay.
even go there, that's very confusing.
It's
that's a
not-
class in itself.
it's
It,
not
it took me a
surveyor.
long time to.
So
figure
actually, when you start reading in the surveyor's office, we don't read left to right, we read the opposite direction. So if you go the other way, like we're counting, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then you come back. It's like a snake.
Yeah, it's awful.
And that's for like Township 1 North, Range 5 East, and if you change to 2 North, 5 East, then you have a whole different set of numbers.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
There's-
told you not to ask.
There's a reason.
Sorry,
If
I'll
you're a
ask you
surveyor.
first.
You're okay.
It's very confusing. I just go with it. But the rest of that should be ag,
Yeah,
other
Yeah.
than the FR and
yeah.
And then we're over to section 1. There's a large subdivision.
the, in one, oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
There's a little nature conservancy at the top.
Yeah,
Oh, yep,
that's the one that gives that road frontage.
Yep.
That other one
I got it.
that appears to
Over
be
here.
landlocked, which there may be another parcel in the next section that,
Yeah,
On page 37.
right,
but I'd say the rest of that's ag.
and it is. See, she yellowed all of it,
Yeah.
so when you.
I tried.
When you put the plats together, then it makes sense.
If you stare at them for too long, you kind of feel crazy, so
Yeah.
I'd take a break. And then we're going back to section 9,
Yeah, it's ag.
10
That's ag
is
too.
ag. Okay, 11. There's a small subdivision. But also there's the Dollar General right at the corner there of 66 and 150.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's, could be several parcels around that intersection of 66 and 150 that.
And there used to be a
General
little
business.
church there or something too,
Yep.
or was it a?
That's actually, I think,
We almost need it. What's it saying?
I think that's in section 2, the church.
Used to be the senior citizens or
Yeah, wasn't
meeting,
it
but it's
senior
a church
citizens
now,
or-
I think.
The senior citizens is in the town of Hardinsburg, but there is what was like a lodge, but now it's a church, and it's on 150, like across from, it'd be like northwest of the Dollar General.
Okay.
They still use the, what do they call that? Keep wanting to say Wildcat Lodge, that's not right.
Yeah, I think that's what, no, wasn't that what it was called?
But
Bearcat,
Bearcat,
Bearcat.
it's still used
Yeah.
as senior citizens, so.
but there's that there,
Yeah, and then
there's,
the Dollar General's on that
Yeah,
other corner.
so, yeah, the Dollar General. and
there's
Yeah.
Garrison Trucking,
Garrison's, yeah.
Yeah, Garrison's is
There'll
there.
be, what, 3 or 4 parcels there
And then
that are,
the well, maybe sorry, I may be getting ahead of us, but there's the Ace Hardware down there
Yeah.
too.
yep,
Next
it's
section.
also, I think, 11.
I guess my question is, would this be an instance where the highway corridor would be zoned differently than individual parcels? Because,
Kind of like out by where Morgan's Market
yes,
was.
because if you don't do it that way, every time, I mean, I'm looking at, I'm scrolled down to the Ace Hardware, which is just to the west
Yep.
of Dollar General, and if someone bought the parcel west of it, which is in farm ground now, they'd have to come get a variance because, and they want to build a business there, they'd have to come get a variance because they're not in the same zone as Ace, be right next to them. So I'm wondering if, corridor wouldn't be a better solution there. General business.
The only problem might be the distance there between, Ace Hardware and that's a pretty good little stretch of land in between the two of them.
so that's something we need to,
Yeah.
I'll circle it
Look
on mine and
into
I'll
is-
put a question mark next to it so we can ask Connor about that Hardinsburg area. That's what I'll call it, but I know what we're talking about, all those little businesses right there.
corridors.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything else is ag.
So we're on 12 now.
Yep, that would be ag. And I made a note on mine for the Hardinsburg businesses.
So there's a subdivision in 12. I'm trying to figure, I'm getting my roads mixed up as to where I'm at.
No subdivision in, yeah, it'll be in, there's a little bit of a
Just a
subdivision
little
up there,
bit.
that's Cedar Lane.
Oh, okay, okay.
But
That's
that would be
right,
it.
okay.
And then we can move on to section 7, where there is also a subdivision.
Yeah.
And the rest would be.
You don't have a laptop, do you?
So 8's all ag.
Yeah.
Well, no, part of it goes into Fredericksburg, so what happens there? Because has Fredericksburg changed?
Fredericksburg is unincorporated. So, but we could still do it as R2 if we wanted. And we could just keep with the old town limits of whatever that looked like.
Yeah, it needs to be R2.
You wanna follow the old Fredericksburg town limits? I can pull that up in my office and make that match, if you want to,
Okay.
if you all want to. I mean, that would kinda
It's
make
still-
it easier.
A town, even though it's not really a town.
Yeah.
Or if you just wanna stick along the highway, we could do that, cause I think the Fredericksburg town limits kinda spreads out farther, kinda like Hardensburg. There's pieces that are part of actual town of Hardensburg that is not right there on the highway.
Well, cause, yeah, cause you got like Reunion Street,
Mm-hmm.
that's on the highway.
So it's whatever you guys wanna do. But I can pull the, if you want for the next meeting, I can pull the old town limits and we can see what that looks like. If you guys wanna keep that as the same, then we can do that.
What would be different than, put just the yellow and,
That would be the old town limit.
so you're saying current, if you pull the Slayer on GIS, it would be,
There was-
outside of that?
Well, if you pull up, right now, if you were to pull it up, it would not be a town limit at all because it's just part of county property.
Gotcha, yeah.
So,
But it's still a platted town,
yes,
because it once was a platted town. Same way with Little York and Martinsburg.
so if you wanna follow if you have the colored maps, if you wanna follow the yellow,
Yeah.
then that is how it would still be and we could make that R2. Works for me.
I think that's how we should.
I think that we should definitely, anything that's yellow should definitely
For
be.
sure.
But I'm curious, like, if you follow, Highway 50 west, are there parcels there that would still also need that R2
I think so.
that are outside?
Yeah,
of
I
it?
think there would be.
Like
Yeah.
that canoe rental place?
Yeah, I think we should go
And
all
like,
in.
actually, when you look at this, that's color coded, like all of this down here is not really a part of Fredericksburg platted town, I don't think.
If it's
That's
yellow-
just ag land
if
down
it's-
That's
there.
ag land, but that's
But
what
it's
was
still
considered
platted.
the town of Fredericksburg
You should
for
see the,
taxes.
you should see the map of South Tillow.
Yeah, it's big.
There's
It's
three
a whole
hou-
section,
three
even though
houses
it's
on
not.
it.
Yeah, it's huge.
See, I didn't know Fredericksburg was considered,
Yeah, that big.
yeah, I thought it
Yep.
was just the basic roads. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they had big intentions of it growing, and just like South Tillow's a perfect example, it's huge. And there's nothing there but ag land.
It's hard to build in a flood zone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna leave it as R2.
Platted town, yeah.
But I can see what Andrew's saying for the other pieces, and how you guys wanna do that is. We could take it to where that subdivision is. To where it says Amber Elliott, you could go on the bottom side maybe of that, and then,
Because that yeah, and then Fredericksburg DePaul Road, I mean, once you get out of sight of those houses, I didn't know that they had considered that all of,
yeah.
because that's a 186 acre parcel.
Mhm.
That's considered part of the platted Fredericksburg.
Mhm.
Hmm.
They like to keep it square.
Yeah.
So obviously, we have tracts of land that are more than one classification. Sounds
I
like.
guess that could be,
Yeah.
You want me to kind of circle the northwest area of Fredericksburg, put a question mark on it, and we can talk to Connor about that?
yeah, kind of,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, moving on then. Got that covered.
That goes back to corridors.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so 8 would technically be ag besides the part that we have questions for Carmen. Then we're going to section 9.
Okay, I'm totally lost. Where are we? Oh, okay, yes.
I'm not really, I don't know a lot about that area, but I think that would be ag.
9?
Are you talking about 9 or 10?
9.
I would say that's all ag.
I know Bullington Road's a lot of farms and stuff.
Let's see.
Yeah, my father-in-law lives out there.
Yeah.
That's where Bexville comes into Fredericksburg. I don't know of any businesses there.
No, there's no businesses in
I don't know of any businesses
All right.
there. I think that's all
Ag.
ag.
Then let's go to 10.
there. Yeah, it's all ag.
That's all ag, other than, what about that sportsman's club?
And then I think that
Would
that would be
that
like
be
a special
considered
exception,
Special section.
right, is what Danielle kinda said it.
I think that would be
It was got for
allowed
information.
use in
Yeah.
ag.
Yes.
So then going to 11, you have a subdivision. But other than that. We can do ag. If you all would like. And then 12, you have a subdivisions that kinda are all over the place.
Yeah.
Ag.
Yeah.
Back over to 16, majority of it is a subdivision. But there's still some around it that's not. And I'd say the rest is ag. I know that Kyle Roberts piece is for sure, I think. Section 15.
Yeah, it's all ag.
Ag. 14.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. 13, you have a subdivision, but around it,
In 14, isn't there a big hog operation or something there on the left, or
There's a bird house on.
is that what it is, birdhouse?
Yeah.
eighteen.
What would you say, 18?
Yeah, section 18. Would that be ag?
Yes.
17, subdivisions. Then we got the area in question that could be extended out of Fredericksburg.
Yep.
Then the rest of it, ag. 16 is all the town of Fredericksburg.
Yep.
15.
That's all ag.
14, you have 2 subdivisions. Besides that. Ag.
Yeah.
And 13, you have a subdivision. But the rest would be ag, I would assume. Okay, so there's Posey.
Look at this go.
Alright, it's 7:40. Think we can get another one in 20 minutes? If it's a small one?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Alright, what's next, Andrew?
How about Howard?
Howard's small.
Howard is small.
Yep.
Oh, this one should be easy.
Yep. Alright. I tried to color in all of the state of Indiana on this one as well. Labeled all the subdivisions, so see what we can do. Alright, section 6.
And
Ag. 5,
Ag.
4,
Ag.
is ag.
Oh, ag.
3,
It's all ag.
2,
That's ag,
Yeah, it's probably just about-
as is one.
1 is ag. 7,
Coal hall, that's definitely ag.
Yeah.
8, ag.
Yep.
9,
Yep,
10, ag. Okay, 11, that's coming
Beck's Mill.
Beck's Mill area.
So is that normally designated area?
I think,
I don't know if it is, but I think it should be, because
Historic
it's
building
very,
and
right there at that
ag
intersection is very
is
small.
good.
I think the intersection there, Beck's Mill and was that Vincent's Trail?
Yep,
I think that's R, I would think that would be R2.
R2.
And
do we wanna include the mill?
Big business, so.
That, I mean, I don't know what that would be categorized as.
So on the regular.
It might just fall into ag at this point. But I know they've restored it and brought it back, so. I'm gonna circle the intersection there.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think the mill would probably fall into that R2 as well.
R2 as well. I know they have that, and then
Is it considered a platted town though? I mean,
No.
it's
No.
not.
No.
It's not.
it's not,
But,
it's just a,
but you think about the way those parcels, in that intersection that I'm talking about,
Mhm.
Vincent's Trail, I think, those parcels are, there's probably a lot of parcels there that are, under 3/4 of an acre,
Yeah, just right there
Yeah.
at the corner. There is.
and it's populated,
measures.
condensed populated area, like these platted towns are, so
So the one that I have, this one.
that's why I
is
think they
older.
should be
I
zoned
didn't
the
get
same
this 'cause I
as,
wasn't here.
Ah, gotcha.
So they have
Okay.
now sold it to the Friends of the Mill,
Gotcha.
which is where the mill's at.
I gotcha.
Yep. Okay, I'm just making like a really rough drawing of R2 on my map. Then the rest, would that be ag?
Ag,
12,
ag,
18,
Ag.
17, Rosebud has the bakery, but I don't know where it's at.
let's see, where's it at?
On the south side of Rosebud Road.
I mean, I know where it's at in real life, I don't know where it's at on this map. But maybe Rosebud right there, I mean, are those small parcels too?
yes.
You have Miller's,
Yeah, Rosebud, yeah, that's gonna be, there's a lot of businesses in there.
yeah, let me make some notes on the back of this. We are
Yeah.
gonna have,
And you know, that may be why we talked, or I talked about Orange County, how they designate Amish areas. That may be why they've done that.
we have
I know they don't have
Miller's,
zoning, but it's just, just for identification.
the bakery. What else is out there?
We got Miller's and Rosebud and,
You got there's a butcher shop
A
there.
right.
Don't ask me his name.
there's a school out there, but I don't know if it's run out of a house or. I know if you go out there during times when school lets out,
There's
there's
school
like
bus- there's
masses of kids on bicycles.
Bicycles.
So there's a school right out there somewhere.
Yeah, it's a pretty big school, actually.
I just don't know what building it's out
So
of.
on the back of my paper, I have made notes. So I will get on my map and really zoom in on that and kind of print out like some partial sheets
Yeah.
of the names of that stuff, and we can talk to Connor about it. So I'm gonna just circle it over here,
Okay. And then the rest of it should be ag.
okay? 16,
Yeah,
That's all ag.
15, you have a subdivision. But the rest of it, is ag.
That's all ag.
I think you have the Howard Township Fire Department, is that in 15? But again, that's a,
Be like Livonia probably. Okay. 14,
That's all I,
13, you have a subdivision. But Bud Miller, Vincent Stroh, I don't think there's any businesses right there.
Not that I know of.
Okay. Ag. 19,
yeah, that's all I.
20. Bless you.
That's all I too.
21. Just by those names, I think it's ag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
22,
there are a couple businesses in 21.
okay, what do we got?
Pallet company.
The pallet factory,
Garbers.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about, yeah, the,
Flooding
probably the
Mm,
gutter.
that new place, right?
Gutter Solutions.
It's out there
21.
too.
Is that in 21?
yeah, and then the building that, just saw a variance at the BZA.
Yeah.
Garbers.
That may be in
That's up
21 or maybe
That's on.
17.
That's
the
up
road
in,
that
15.
goes north and south. That's on
15.
Beck's Mill.
that's in 15,
It might be in 15, yeah.
It's in
Yeah.
15?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it
See
is.
where that little where the two roads come together? It
Yep,
was
it's right there.
This little triangular piece.
Alright, what do you want that little triangle, would it be business or industrial? For the variance
Where's
place?
this little
I think
triangle
business.
at? Do you see it?
Business?
Right there.
I gotta find my color coded map here, guys, hold on.
Oh, this is all.
I have too many papers.
Well, it'd be general business.
Yeah.
Blue. It
Now,
is blue.
would you consider Garbers industrial?
I would. I
The
would.
attorney says yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pallet?
I know
It's a
who
main-
did
It
it
has
because,
several
Because it's a
employees,
manufacturing?
too. It's.
yes,
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, I think so.
not a big one,
it's like a
but,
manufacturing.
it's
when
not
you
big.
so
go
the
in.
triangle,
yeah.
No, we were talking about the pallet place, but
And then the gutter place, that's industrial. They manufacture things, right?
that's orange.
Wait, if we move back to 21?
I don't know where we are.
okay, that's back in 21. That's David Garber. David's the one that has Gutter Solutions, right?
Yeah.
And then if you go east, and we're still in 21, I think that's where the pallet thing is.
Yeah.
I just don't know whose name it's under.
So-
right about
I've
the
made
top
notes
of the
back here,
two.
21. We're searching for Garber, the variance place, which is actually in 15, and a gutter place.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need to pluck those out,
Alright, we'll pluck them.
pluck them.
We'll do my best.
But then you were talking about 15.
And you said the place that got the variance, what would you think it
Mhm.
should be?
Right where,
Yep.
Kansas Church Road and, Beck's Mill run into each other, like the southern part of, 15, just to the right of that little Y there, it says JG 11.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
Okay.
it.
And
That's
what
it.
zone do we want it to be?
Okay, that's what I was trying to find. Okay.
Industrial. We've spoken. Alright,
So
got that one.
would you consider corridors on county roads? Wouldn't make it, I mean,
It would be a highway corridor, but it might be a corridor.
Well, Rosebud's certainly like that with,
Yeah.
3 or 4 different
yeah, it is.
businesses, industries out there.
I guess we can, kind of on the line of asking Connor,
Yeah.
although I don't think they have any Amish communities in Jackson County.
We
but-
can't do that.
No, but I meant he's probably not familiar, he probably doesn't have
Oh, yeah.
areas like that that are
Oh.
collective up there, but he can tell us, well, if you have a family that has 2 or 3 businesses,
Yeah,
how they designated
Yeah.
up there. I'm just
Right.
saying they don't have Amish,
Oh, okay.
they don't have Amish businesses like we do here in our
No.
county.
No, they don't. Okay.
On 23rd.
I'm gonna say we're on 22.
Yeah,
Okay.
22 looks like all ag and
Okay.
this.
23.
I'm pretty sure that's all ag.
Okay. 24.
Probably the same.
Okay. 30.
Those all look like ag to me.
Yeah.
29.
Yeah, that's it.
It's all ag too, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
Okay, is there something right there in the corner?
Church,
Is that a church?
Yeah.
Okay.
28 is ag.
Yeah.
27.
That's all ag, except for your little subdivision.
That's ag, yeah, and there's a little fire department over there, I'm pretty sure, but would be falling in. 26.
that'll be ag.
Yeah.
25, you have the DNR and you have the big subdivision, so
Not
there's not a whole lot left.
the rest would be ag.
Okay.
Same for 31. Oh, wow.
What color one over here?
Oh, that's our infamous. That's a pretty road, isn't it? Is that, no, that's not pretty road. What subdivision is that?
You know, I don't know. It's a Chris McGahee one, so I don't really know.
So does that subdivision like take half of a Quinlan's tract of land?
Yeah, here's the thing. They got combined. That's a question for Con. Some point in the history of the world, it has gotten combined into a parcel that's not part of the subdivision. Now, normally in Washington County, because we've never been zoned, that doesn't matter. So, just coming up, will it be a thing?
Interesting.
32.
That's ag.
33.
This should be all ag too.
34.
Morgan Springs.
Ain't nothing around Oregon Springs that I know of, just ag.
35. You got a little bit of Nature Conservancy down there.
Yep.
Ag. And 36. Nature Conservancy. And other than that,
Yeah, the rest is ag.
okay. So we did 3.
Chipping away.
Oh, there's nothing I wanted.
Everybody saved their maps. And their notes. Who's yours? What it is.
Don't have any of those. No, not really.
All right.
It does in smaller fleets. You'll have Joe's come
All
give
right.
us some more.
Paul, are you gonna keep these? I'm putting together this copies from today.
Yeah. We'll try to do that. All right, unless somebody has something else, thank you all. I know that was hard on your eyeballs, but I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I
Motion
second that motion.
made by Lori, second by Emily. All those in favor say aye.
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 Yeah, she seconded it almost before I got my motion.
I have that.
You too, you should go catch up soon.